right, everyone, welcome into H2H NFL week number 9. Had to think for a second there.
Yep.
This is the NFL pick show in which Tasos and myself battle it out each and every week, giving some NFL picks. Whoever comes out on top units-wise at the end of the week gets a dub in Tasos. I know we're at each other's necks this season, and, you want to win just as badly as I want to win, but in terms of the show, the fact that we've crafted up a 4-4 start to the season, I have 4 wins, you have 4 wins, pretty crazy, right? I am coming off of a win last week, so that feels good, and it felt like a must win because we have just been at each other's necks all year.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is the most different H2H season we've had so far. I mean, year 1 and year 2, whether it was you or me, got out to this like big early lead, and both of us kind of made runs towards the end, but it never was really all that close. This year, it's just been you win, I win, you win, I win. Every week we just kind of trade blows, and honestly, it makes for great entertainment. But honestly, it's good to compete with you, Ev.
Yeah, it gets the heart bumping, though. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't mind last year when I was out to that big lead, like you probably 2 years ago. You know what I mean? But anyways, guys, this is an NFL pick show in which Tasos and I give you our best picks. And whoever comes out on top, like I mentioned, gets the win for that week. Now, it's a little bit different than what you're probably used to watching. If it's your first time here, first off, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. But your first time here, we involve a wheel that dictates 1, the order in which we make these picks, and 2, the important one, the categories that we actually pick into. And we have a special round at the end of the video. So a little bit different than, I guess, your run-of-the-mill show. Tasos and I have a blast doing this each and every week. And Tasos, correct me if I'm wrong, we see those comments being like, this show deserves more views. And I'm like, hey, you guys are making me feel something in here. I agree with you. So guys, hit that like button, subscribe, comment, do anything you can to help this show grow, because we do put a lot of work into it and we look forward to it every week.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. I mean, and I agree with the comments even more than that. I mean, it's a great show. It's our third year doing it, and we have a really great following. I just feel like we haven't hit that point yet where it's blown up to a bigger sense. I know it's coming, but obviously we need your help to get to that point. So like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Help out the algorithm. Help this show get to the point where you can talk to your friends about it at the they still have water jugs at office. I don't work in an office job personally.
The water cooler?
Water cooler, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only place you can talk to your friends about it. Tasos is very, very specific about that.
Yeah,
I was going to say you can talk to your friends at a bar, which might be a little bit more fitting for me or you, but hey, only the water cooler, guys.
Whatever it may be, your family barbecues, whatever it is, you can talk H2H with your friends.
Just talk to your damn friends about it. Tasos, you ready to dive into round number 1?
I'm ready.
Or first, we got to do the pick order here. So
that would help
you guys are going to see a wheel on your screen. It's got 3 Ev slices, 3 Tasos slices. Whoever this wheel lands on drafts first. It is then a snake draft from there on out. So let's go ahead and spin it. Tasos coming off of a losing week. You're probably looking for the wheel here, right?
I am, yeah. I want to go ahead and just take it right off the bat. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and spin this bad boy.
Let's see what we got going on here. What are the wheel guys?
That is going to sit right on me.
All right, that's fine. You know what? Secretly, I actually wanted you to have it first, so that's fine.
Oh, so secretly, you didn't want to say it out loud, but secretly, you got exactly what you wanted.
I'm still, the brain's still a bit warm. We're still getting things warmed up here. Weekend on Bourbon Street, so still letting you start us off to see where your line of thought is probably would help me out a little bit.
That is fair. Tasos did have quite the weekend. Whereas I was just in the lab cooking up. I was in the lab cooking up. So let's see how that plays out. That could really come back to bite me. I wish I didn't make that statement. Now you're going to beat me this week. And it's like Tasos was out partying all weekend and Ev was in the lab. Let's jump into the wheel here, guys. This is the important one, like I mentioned. This is the one that says, what we're going to partake in round number 1 here. Tasos, I'm going first. You're going second. Let's see. I have a pretty thin board this week, but I do have one for pretty much everything. That's the same as last week, so I like what I have. I'm glad that with all the options on the board right now, I'm going first. You know what I mean? Because if you were to steal something, I'm in a pretty crappy spot. Let's go ahead and spin this.
I don't believe you. Last week, you told me the same thing last week, and then you came out with these plays, and I'm like, this guy's he's bullshitting me. I
didn't even get to victory lap Cam Ward, huh? I wish we talked about that a little bit more.
Listen, I can't really crap on it. It was a great pick. And he didn't just hit. He blew through the pick. He had over 250 yards passing.
It took a while, but he did blow through it.
Going into the fourth quarter, he had like 160 yards. I thought, I was at the Saints game, and I'm like, you know what, Cam Ward, maybe he won't hit it. And then, I see he threw for almost 100 yards in the fourth quarter. I'm like,
yeah, you thought. That's the key word there. All right,
That
guys,
hurt.
we got money line for round number one. Like I said, Tasos, I got pretty much one for everything. And my money line pick here is I actually really do like it. I'm gonna burn it here. I was gonna think about using it for fade me, but I like Dallas right now in terms of their odds over Arizona. You can get them for minus 141. A little bit juiced. I mean, I don't mind them on the spread either. I just think that this Arizona defense is not all that great, and I feel like that's the recipe for success for the Cowboys. They're coming off of scoring 24 points against a good defense, right, in the Broncos. How can we envision this Arizona team truly stopping them? They're ranked, I think, bottom third in the league. I know that. It might be even worse in passing yards per game. They're a little bit better in terms of like guarding the rush, but does that worry you if you're backing the Cowboys here? Like the Cowboys are built on Dak and the receivers right now. So yeah, it seems like a good enough spot for me. I do think that they are, the better team for sure. So I'm in on this one. What are your thoughts? Real quick, guys, wanted to talk to you about the new merch drop we have over on FadeMe.store, the Gambler Football 25 collection. We have a premium hoodie, a premium crew neck, a rope hat, and this is the foam trucker hat. So 4 new products launched on the website. Go ahead and check it out again. That's fademe.store or head to guybostonsports.com/store. Use code H2H, H2H, get 10% off this week only. Go ahead and check it out again. That's fademe.store. Help support us by picking up some merch, but this stuff's legitimate quality. I mean, take a peek at this thing, guys. Go ahead and pick it up. You get some great merch at the same time as you're helping us out.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would give you that's a cause for concern here is the fact that I actually probably do align with you on this pick, is the fact that the Cardinals are coming off a bye week and their last couple games before the bye week. Now, granted, Kyler Murray, they didn't have him playing, but when Jacoby Brissett was in, the offense actually didn't look too bad. They had a tight game with the Packers. They played a little bit better. So I guess that's the one area where I would say a little cautious. They have some time now to make some adjustments. This isn't a very good Cardinals team. I don't think it's much of a surprise to say.
No.
The problem with the Cowboys, and they gave the Colts a challenge. They lost by 4 to the Colts, lost by 4 to the Packers. I mean, those are 2 really good football teams, and they hung in there. So now you play Dallas off the bye. Even honestly, if you go through their entire season, Arizona really hasn't been terrible. I'm going through the scores, and I'm like looking for that big loss. It's like I don't see it. The worst loss is that loss to Tennessee. That was the one where it's like, oh, this team stinks. But 4-point loss to the Packers, 4-point game with the Colts. Every single game of theirs this year has been a
Seattle game that they battled back. I give you that. Yeah.
It's been a 1-4 game every week. So, I mean, they hang around here. They have the rest advantage. I get it, Dallas's offense, but Dallas is such a streaky team, and their defense is not anything to, talk nicely about. So,
not at all.
I don't hate it. I like it. I do lean Dallas in this game, but having this be like your first dart on the dartboard is a little crazy, in my opinion.
All right, that is fair. One thing I'll say, and then we'll go to yours. I do think that especially Kyler's missed like you mentioned, right? I think he's probably going to be back after the bye week, but
maybe better off without him, to be honest. But
so then that might even be better, I guess, in a sense. But overall, I do get that maybe they've even looked better than their record might state and stuff like that, right? Talking about the losses that you mentioned, I would also point to beating Carolina by only 5 points, beating the Saints by only a score. You know what I mean? Like there are some things there where it's like even their wins, the San Francisco, that was
they lost that game.
Right. Yeah. That was a close one. Really close though. Right.
Yeah.
You said it. I forget what you said, but either way. Okay. So yeah, they're 2 wins. You could even argue are like kind of dicey-ish wins. You know what I mean? So I just don't think this team's very good. And I think that there's a higher ceiling for Dallas. I really can't argue the defense on Dallas or Arizona could win this one. I can't argue that. I get it.
I think it's a coin flip game, and that's where I get a little concerned here. Just the fact that the coin flip nature of it all. I will say to your advantage, though, Kyler Murray, when he got out, Battlefield 6 had just been released. It's now been a few weeks. He's had some time to get it out of his system. Maybe that was the big thing that was going on. Maybe that he was too excited for Battlefield 6. Now it's out. He's had a few weeks to play it. He hasn't played in a few weeks. He'll be ready to go. So maybe that has your advantage there.
That is a perfect point. All right. That should have led with that.
Yep. Yeah, he's had a few weeks now. The game's been out. He's played it. He's probably put 100 hours into it already. He's good to go now.
You said that this was a surprising first dart throw. I actually felt like Moneyline was a tough one this week, so I'm curious to see where you go.
Fair, yeah.
I'm curious to see where you go.
All right, I'm going. It feels like a bit of a square pick here, but I am going with the Niners on the money line here against the Giants. Again, like you just said, to your point, the money lines, there weren't a lot of great value spots there. My thing with this New York Giants team is that, and I will give the Giants their flowers. I have been impressed with the young guys. Jackson Dart's played pretty well for the most part. The defensive line's been solid. The problem with the Giants is, though, every time they get something going, they lose a key piece of that offense. And this offense wasn't all that deep to begin with. Cam Scatabo was kind of the big thing pushing them, and now he's out for the year. And it's like, at some point, even the best teams, you take away their wide receiver one and their running back one, they're going to struggle. If you took in Minnesota Justin Jefferson and Jordan Mason away, that team falls apart. You take away CeeDee Lamb, and
Mason,
I can give you a million examples. Yeah, he was terrible, but you can give you numerous examples, right?
Yeah.
Take away the top receiver, take away the top running back, they're going to struggle. When you do that for this Giants team that wasn't good to begin with, and you take away the only things that were good, it's just not looking great for them. And I know they had this fight to them. Daboll's obviously coaching for his job. Jackson Dart trying to prove himself, but there just comes a point in time where you can only overcome so much. And the defense, yes, the pass rush is great. The secondary is not. The offensive line's been better, but it's not great. They don't have great weapons all around. Without Malik Neighbors, without Cam Scatabo, I just don't trust this Giants team. The Niners, they have their own laundry list of injuries, but they're a better coach team. They had more depth to prepare for injuries. They've also kind of been this team over the last several years that I just don't think the injuries are surprising anymore. They're used to this by now. They know to fill their roles. They know to step up. They run a system that's very friendly for players to step up into, like specifically on the offensive side. You can grab Kendrick Bourne, who the Patriots cut. It seemed like it was all said and done for his career.
Yeah, now he's
plug him in that offense, and he's one of the, that first game, he had like 12 catches and over 180 yards. Like, it's crazy. So they just run a system that's more friendly for that kind of a thing. I just think the Giants are going to struggle. They don't have a running back now with Scatabo out that impacts the game. I know Tyrone Tracy was pretty good last year, but this Giants team is not anything special, even with those players. Take them out of the equation. It's one of the worst teams in the league. And the Niners, they're well coached. They still have enough on both sides of the ball. They should be able to go ahead and win this game. Again, we're not talking spread, just money line. They can win this game.
Yeah, I really can't argue it. I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't also on my list under the money line plays as well. I think that if you get Brock Purdy back, I do think, and then he's questionable, right? I do think people sleep on how much better he is than Mac Jones, and Mac Jones has been good enough, relatively speaking. He's not winning that many games. I feel like actually they haven't lost 2 games in a row this season, so they lost last week. That even speaks good to your, if we were following that trend, money line play. But Brock Purdy is, one, a better game manager than Mac Jones, and 2, he's really mobile. People sleep on his mobility, and with a pass rush, that's the one thing about the defense of this Giants team, right? The pass rush. They can get to you, blah, 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 even though half those guys' names are now on the trade block. If Brock Purdy can extend plays, you have McCaffrey leaking out, who's like a wide receiver 1, and he's their damn running back. Hopefully you start to see some of their wide receivers get healthier. So yeah, I'm on board with this one for you. I think that people, especially if Brock Purdy comes back, people sleep on how good this team is. The biggest concern I would have defensively from the 49ers is Fred Warner being out for the year. And I know they now have had, maybe 1 or 2 games without him. But like, that guy literally is a one-man wrecking ball, change the game, like Myles Garrett type. Cleveland always has a good defense. Why? Because Myles Garrett is that good. Fred Warner, being a linebacker, is that good, and I do think that he's a massive drop-off. But even still, we're talking about the Giants, and the Giants probably will giant at some time. You know what I mean? Just blow something, do something stupid. So yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, even if they just had Scatabo, don't even think about Malik Neighbors. If they had Scatabo back, I would be a lot more concerned here. But I just who else are they going to call on here? Wan'Dale Robinson and Tyrone Tracy are supposed to scare me, even against a banged up Niners team. Who's up after that? You know what I mean? Like, the depth chart gets a lot thinner. I just don't see it. Like, Jackson Dart's been really good, but his strength has been more the run. As a passing quarterback, he's been fine, but he loses another weapon, and I just don't see how this works. Brock Purdy coming back obviously would make this a lot better because he has Mac Jones. As great as he's been, he is one of the most immobile quarterbacks in the league, and that's a problem with this pass rush. So I agree with you there, but I do think overall the Niners should win this game.
Yep. Let's move on to round number 2 there. I give a little stamp of approval on yours. Obviously you don't like mine, but hey, that's why we do this show. We'll see who comes out on top.
Yeah, first of all, I said I kind of lean towards Cowboys. I just said it's definitely a riskier play. Like I think the
Okay.
Niners obviously I think would have been a better play. There's a couple other ones out there, but it's more
Okay.
that one's a coin toss in my opinion.
All right. All right, you're leading this round off. Out of what we have on the board, is there anything that you're looking at? Money line is obviously, gone and forgotten, but now we got a bunch of other stuff. This is a filled up board. Anything you like?
I like totals. I spent a minute.
Totals.
It's been a minute since I got a total tease out there. The last time I did it, it lost. I think the first time ever in the show's history, it lost. So I'm looking for redemption for the total tease. So I'm
We don't
hoping
even
for
have a total on here. I tried to get you that's I'll add it in for you, but that's
Oh wow,
crazy.
just no totals.
That's I got you. That's a user error. So I'm glad you said that
Wow.
because I'm looking at it. We have over, under, total wasn't on there. Damn.
I'm like I got like Spidey sense. It's like I knew that something was wrong. That there
Yeah.
needed to be
It's
total
also one of
there.
the biggest names. That's why I think I missed it. Some of these are smaller. That actually leads us into a perfect opportunity. We just added something into the wheel, right? Guys,
Yep.
if you have any ideas, we are going through the comments every single week trying to find new and unique wheel ideas. I love all the suggestions we've gotten and whatnot. But I do think that there's a level of now that I ask you guys as the commenters and watching the show and just our community, think about like how it would operate necessarily in the show, right? Because there's been some really cool and good ideas, but we do have to kind of not fly through it, but it has to be succinct enough that we can actually pull it off. Because there's been some really good ideas, being like Tasos picks a player prop and Ev has to take the same category. So if it's receiver and he has to find a number that's bigger and pick some, and it's like that's a really good idea. It's a lot though, you know what I mean? So let's get some succinct ideas in there. Is that fair to ask of the people, Tasos?
Yeah, you're asking them to dumb it down for you, is what I'm hearing here.
Oh my god, this guy. I mean, I'm never gonna tell you that I'm smart, okay? Never tell you that. Even though I did graduate with the cum laude in college, I don't even know what it's called, so that's a tough
Come
one.
again? Cum laude.
Something like that, cum laude.
How about cum laude? How about we try cum
Oh, there
laude
we
on
go.
sides?
Yeah. Well,
Oh man, that college
spelling and
education's
pronunciation.
coming in handy, huh?
All right, let's go ahead and spin this bad boy. But yeah, dumb it down for me in the comments.
Ev, I think you should be thrown in this NBA FBI thing for not putting totals on here. You're trying to fix the wheel in against me here.
That's a fair point.
You might as well be with Chauncey Billups right now in the cell.
You know what's funny, Tassos? You said I haven't had a total tease in a few weeks. I can't guarantee that total was on there the last week.
Yeah,
I seriously
you know
don't
what? That probably I'm gonna have to go back and roll the tape.
Yeah,
now.
like that's a hand up. I mean, you didn't say anything either, so we can't
Fair enough.
can't fully.
I had faith that you were going to be fair about the wheel, but now I don't. Like I said, I might as well be doing a podcast with Terry Rozier right now.
I love terrors here. Well, I will say that is very fair though. Like if I forgot total and your big thing is total tease, tough one. Anyways, we do have Thursday night football here. You could look at the total in that one. You wanted to start off with totals?
No, it's fine. It's like trying to tell Superman he can't fly. It's fine.
Okay.
Let's
I
see
gave you
here.
your wings back. I gave you your cape back. I threw the kryptonite out the window. You're good.
All right, so here we go. I'm going player prop here for this one. I'm going H-Chain over in rushing yards. Let me sure I have the accurate number that I want, best odds and all that. Yeah, so I got it over. We'll go with that one. Over 59.5 rushing yards. I'm grabbing it for minus 102 over on FanDuel. Really good spot here from a matchup perspective, from a number perspective for A-Chain. He's cashed 6 of his last 10 games, dating back to last year. We narrowed it down just to this season. He's cashed it in 5 of 8 games. It's a 63% hit rate, averaging over 67 rushing yards per game this year. And you do see a lot more of those misses came early. Week 1, Week 2, and Week 5 were the 3 times he failed to cash this number. Cashed it in 5 of the last 6. So it's been a really good run. Each of the last 3, including a really big 128-yard rushing game against the Chargers. So a lot of good numbers from a data perspective, from a matchup perspective. The Ravens right now, 23rd in the NFL, giving up just shy of 129 rushing yards per game to opposing teams. You narrow it down to the running back position, still 23rd in the NFL, giving up just shy of 104 rushing yards per game to opposing running backs. And although the numbers haven't been great, like, last week, for example, okay, he has 67 rushing yards. That's not like a hugely great game, but each of the last 3 weeks, The Dolphins have faced top 12 teams in the NFL in terms of run defense, looking into perspective of yards per game. Chargers, Browns, Falcons, all of these teams, very strong run defenses, and yet he's still cashing those lines. So now you face him against one of the bottom 10 worst run defenses in the NFL. I think it's a good spot. He's still getting a lot of carries, averaging 13.4 carries per game this year. He's had at least 13 carries in each of the last 3 games. They're using him. If they're going to be Baltimore, they have to go ahead and utilize the ground game, take advantage of that matchup spot. And one last little tidbit here for you. This is an insight brought to us by Outlier here. H8 has exceeded 59.5 rushing yards in 4 of his last 5 games versus bottom 10 defenses for rushing yards allowed, averaging just shy of 74 yards per game over those last 5 games against bottom 10 run defenses. So everything to me looks like this is a pretty good spot. What do you think, Ev?
All right, let's see. I kind of come out in the middle in this one. All right, I don't love it. I certainly don't love it. I don't think I would even really lean towards the under, though. It's more of, and I feel like you say this sometimes about the things that I get. This is more of like a stay away type spot for me for only one reason. And if you wanted to spell it or not look at it, then I think that's totally fine. But I do think that the Ravens defense had so many injuries and they finally get like 2 or 3 guys back last week. And it's like, that's a big deal to me, especially with like someone like Roquan Smith or Kyle Hamilton or something, you know what I mean? Like some of these guys that are really, really, really instrumental into this I almost said Steelers, this Ravens defense, right? Like the Ravens were supposed to be a good defense and they haven't been. Now they get guys back from injury. That's like my one thing. Like I said, I don't even know if I'd lean towards the under, so I can't sit here and tell you I hate it. But I think that that's my only counter, or like the thing that would make me second guess, if that makes sense. Now that being said, for a guy like HN, it's a really, really low line.
Yeah,
it really is
for a
like
good
this,
reason, though. I mean, the
no,
last couple of games, I didn't mention this part. I got to be transparent. It was DeAndre Swift, Kyron Williams, Nick Chubb. All 3 hit their unders the last 3 games. Now, you can point to the defense getting healthier. You could also point to the fact that the Bears the Ravens, had a pretty big lead against the Bears.
Yep.
So they didn't really have a chance to run it. And to be fair, Swift missed his line by like 3 yards. Kyron Williams, same thing. Rams dominated that game. Texans dominated that game. Actually, Nick Chubb did cash his line. I misspoke there. So only the last 2 has the top running back not cashed their over, Swift and Williams. And both those games were 14-plus point wins. So you could say it's a blowout thing. You could say it's, the defense getting better. But again, H-Chain, if you give me this line this low, with their defense being as bad as it's been, and the Dolphins obviously a little momentum coming in this game, he's done it against better defenses than Baltimore. He did it against the Browns, did it against Atlanta, who has a pretty good run defense, the Chargers. So, if he can do it against those teams, I don't see why he couldn't do it versus Baltimore. But I do get your point, to be fair.
Yeah. I think that you're almost in a, like, and I say this to you all the time, especially when we do the live streams, like this is a buy low spot for him. And I'm always down to buy low because, like, as bad as Miami has been, it kind of makes people forget how explosive and how good HN really is. Like he really, really is really and fast and explosive, makes guys miss, can also run for power if he needs to. Really good. So I can't necessarily sit here and tell you that I don't like it. I'm getting a little weird with mine.
Oh, here we
go. I'm looking at the running back on the other side of things. Derrick Henry, right? Running back. You're in luck. Derrick Henry, now you'd probably think, okay, well, he must be looking at his rushing yards or touchdown or something like that. Derrick Henry over 4.5 receiving yards.
Oh God,
weird. I told you it was weird. It's I can't deny that it is a wild one. This is a hit or miss prop, and I get that. Like he's either doubled up this line this year or had no catches type of a thing. Lamar coming back for his first game, going up against a team in the Dolphins that allow a ton of receptions and receiving yards to the running back position. I could 1,000,000% see them not necessarily drawing things up for him, but getting some plays that Lamar needs to just dump it off nice and easy to Derrick Henry. Throw in the fact that we do see Miami as actually a top 5 blitz team. Now, do they get home? Do they send the pressure? No, but they do blitz, right? I could see a couple, chip the blitzer off the edge and a nice little flare pass for Derrick Henry. Now, do they have other guys in the roster that they would utilize for these sort of short passes and comfy passes? Yes, but again, if you're just having the thought of a 5-yard catch or something like that, where you have your quarterback coming back from injury, they might want to ease him into it. I don't hate like the mistake idea of like, oh, now we have to throw to Derrick Henry. I don't think there's going to be these designed plays, but it could be like a, hey, I'm in here blocking. We got nothing. I got a leak. I know it's weird. You're not going to get me on the like the gross factor. I know it's gross, right? But it kind of makes sense in this dumb brain. And we just talked about how I need to dumb it down.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, like the argument you make is a fair argument. He has cashed it in 4 of 7 games this year, so I mean, there is some numbers for it that support it. The one
it is hit or miss, though, right? It's like it's
yeah. The biggest problem I have is one of the big cases for your argument was like, oh, the Dolphins give a lot of receiving yards to running backs. They give up even more rushing yards to running backs. They're bottom 3 in the NFL in rushing yards allowed to running backs. So my thing is, you're really just hammering the point home of like, this is like a home run prop where it's like you need luck on your side for this to hit, versus if you were to take it over in rushing yards, you have a lot of stuff going in your direction.
89.5 though. Derrick Henry hasn't had the best of seasons.
Yeah, but the Dolphins haven't had the best of seasons defensively either. And
I can't deny that. But like 80, he could have a good game like he did last week in 71 yards and 2 touchdowns and still not hit 90 yards. I'd want to see him doing it more and more. Because you're totally right. If this is the Derrick Henry that we all know and love, you know what I mean? I just really haven't seen that guy, and he's one of my favorite, definitely running backs with players in the league. He's like my keeper for the last 10 years in fantasy. So it's not against him, but it really hasn't been the best of seasons with him. Now you could also argue, okay, well, Lamar being out, they're stacking the box and blah blah blah. There are reasons there, but yeah, it is kind of a home run prop, but it's crazy to hit a home run 5 yards and be able to round the bases. All right, guys, hate to break up the action for 1 second, but I did want to talk to you about Outlier. You've heard us talk about Outlier plenty on this channel over the years. That's because it remains our favorite player prop research tool. Check out the link down in the description as well as the pinned comment, or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You'll get a 7-day free trial. 7 days free for you to make the decision whether or not you like Outlier or not. I know the answer is going to be yes, but hey, go do it yourself, right? Even after that trial's over, they don't have this big gotcha moment. No, it's just $19.99 per month after that. You hit some plays with Outlier, it's going to pay for itself. Go ahead and check it out, guys. They are constantly building and making this tool even better. Outlier, go check it out. Link down in the description as well as the pinned comment, or scan that QR code right here. Now let's get you back to H2H.
I mean, if you look it was just within the last 3 or 4 games, Kamani Vidal, the Chargers' 3rd string running back, had 124 yards. Game before, Rico Dowdle had 206.
200, yeah.
Yep. Now, but since then, Judkins at 84, but we talked about in the live stream, it was a hurricane in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So, not actually a hurricane, but 84 yards. And then Bijan, that game was a blowout, and he only had 25. He had an awful game, but I don't think you should include the Falcons in any kind of data. They are the weirdest team I've ever seen.
That last week, that was one of the weirder games. So I mean,
yeah.
But
I don't like it. I'll be honest, but it is one of those ones where it's like, hey, what were the odds that you got on it?
-110.
It's not bad from a value standpoint. And like you said, one pass and you cash it, so you don't need much. The problem is how much he's going to get the ball thrown his way. So that's the one thing. You know what? There are numbers to support it, so you want to go for it. These are the props you hit, so it's hard for me to be like, yeah, this is terrible. These are the ones you pull out of nowhere, and they just kind of hit. So I can't really poke too many holes in it. I don't love it, but
it is gross. I can admit that to you and anyone watching, but I do really like it.
You're the maestro of gross props.
Hey, I don't know if to take that as a compliment or a like a slap in the face, but either way, I'm kind of okay with it.
It's a little bit of both, I guess. A little bit of both.
Yeah, the more and more you think about it, the worse and worse it gets.
Yeah.
But all right, you ready for round number 3?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right, guys, if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and comment round 3 down below. And in that comment, who do you like through the first two rounds? Do you like Tasos' plays? Do you like mine? Do you like the gross side? Do you like the side that seems, just too easy and too good to be true? That's the Tasos side. Tasos, what are you looking for in this round? I know I'm leading this off, but I ask you, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for the one I got duped out of apparently the last couple of weeks. I'm looking for the
All right.
total
I
here.
was trying to trip you up there to see if you'd still stick to it. I wouldn't mind a. You know what I want? I want the drafter's choice. We haven't had that yet. It was
We haven't
added
had that
in.
yet, yeah.
Yeah, because then you'd still get your total, and
I
then
still
I'd
get my
like.
total pick. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's. Well, actually, no, because I'm the drafter. I'm definitely not taking total.
I feel like I'm going to lose some points with the fans just because I'm wearing glasses today. Like I know
that's
I'm not a glass. I wore glasses my whole life, and when I got contacts, it's like, why did I do this sooner? But when I'm not feeling great, glasses are always the move. But I already know that I'm 10% less likable when I got glasses on. So
yeah.
I'm ready for the comments.
That's ringing true at least so far. I'm not having a great time with you on this show, not like in my picks and stuff. But we got Sunday Night Football, which, guys, perfect time to plug. Tasos does a full game breakdown every single Sunday here on the channel. So go ahead and check that out. But Tasos, I am leading us off for this one. And I don't know if you've fully dug into your Sunday night matchup yet. But I do think
I've done like the initial kind of like look through,
okay.
but nothing too crazy.
I have a spot. I actually have two plays that I do really like in this. So we watched the Commanders. What was that at the time of recording? That was last night, right? Monday Night Football. I wasn't all
Yeah.
that thrilled. I don't know if we're gonna get Jaden Daniels back. He's questionable and all that. But I'm gonna just go with I think something that could be considered a chalky approach here. But I'm gonna go Seattle money line -155. Better defense, better. I want to say better quarterback. Even when Daniels has played this year, Sam Darnold has been better in a sense. I do worry a little bit about the pressure. Like Washington can send the pressure, but even the Chiefs, who were susceptible to that, really did kind of hold up in terms of making some big plays on big downs. Mahomes got hit a decent amount, but even still, the biggest thing I want to note here is that this is the technically, I guess, one of the top 3 rushing teams in terms of Washington this year from yards per carry or rushing yards per game perspective. Seattle's I think they might be the number 1 in terms of yards per carry and rushing yards against, at least as of, I want to say last week, right? That's like you take away the one thing that was kind of moving the ball a little bit for Washington. I think Seattle eats them up here. So yeah, I like Seattle on the money line, -155 over on Novig.
Yeah, the one honestly, I love Seattle in the spot. They are coming off a bye week too.
Yep.
So they're well rested. Commanders short week coming off Monday Night Football.
Yep.
The one honest biggest thing that scares me, and this is something I've been looking at in the early part of my research for this game, is this is now 2 years I've been covering Sunday Night Football videos here on the channel. These are the spots that are the biggest trap spots. It's everything looks in one way.
I was even gonna say that. I was gonna say that it's kind of wild that because I was gonna mention how like let's call it spade a spade. -155 is a pretty juiced play, obviously, right? It still doesn't seem like I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a -175 type spot in terms of how I look at these two teams. So I do get that there is a little trappiness to it because yeah, it is juiced, but it's not even like it's still digestible, which is crazy because I think that Seattle's a better team.
And that's where I think my thing comes. You have a 5-2 Seahawks team who is coming off a bye week, so they're well rested. Yes, they're on the road, but the Commanders just got beat by the Chiefs Monday Night Football. Jaden Daniels may not even play. And if he does play, he's not 100%. They've had injuries all year long. Seahawks, last time we saw them, they beat the Texans. They beat the Jaguars, back-to-back pretty solid wins there. They gave the Buccaneers a run for their money. They really have had one bad loss, so to speak. It was a 4-point loss to the Niners. And then you see this Commanders team, they lost by 21 to the Chiefs. They lost by 22 to the Cowboys. They lost to the Bears. They lost 4 of the last 5 games. Bears, Cowboys, Falcons, we talked about it. They're all these kind of wishy-washy teams. So all this to say, why is it? Yeah. Yep. What's the Brian Windhorse like? What does it mean? What does it mean? Why are they only 2.5-point underdogs? Just because they're at home? That's why it's this close of a spread? It's very fishy to me. And again, from a football standpoint, you're not going to find a lot of points where I can defend Washington because I can't. They don't, their defense, like you said, they have a decent pass rush. But their defense isn't anything crazy. They're 21st in rushing yards allowed per game, 26th in passing. They don't force any turnovers, 21st in scoring. It's not a great defense. And on the flip side, offensively, they have a really good run defense. Good run offense, excuse me. The Seahawks right now have the best run defense in the NFL in terms of yards per game. So the Seahawks negate the one strength Washington has offensively. I just don't understand. They have a great pass rush this year. The Commanders' offensive line has been wishy-washy. There's nothing for me that tells me why Seattle shouldn't just win this game by a blowout. And again, it's only
Yet
two
it's
and a half
that.
point spread.
I can't deny that, and that
Yeah.
was, like I said,
And
something I
that's
thought
the
too.
only thing I can say. I can't attack you on any other level in this game except for the fact that this feels like it should be, and it is early in the week, so maybe we will see it change. But man, does that seem a little fishy to me that it's
Right.
that close of a spread. That's the only thing I'll
Yeah,
say. Real
yeah.
quick before I give you my side, I do want to look at for your benefit on Action Network what the early betting numbers are for this from the public perspective.
It's
Let's
probably all
see.
Seattle.
They've tracked
It
about
has to be.
6,000 bets so far on Action Network, and Seattle is destroying. They have 90% of all the public money. So that's the area where I would be like, man, that's a little rough.
Yep. All right. Well, Mr. Sunday Night Football, where are you going?
Now, I will admit I'm in a little bit of a disadvantage here because obviously the props really, there aren't too many out just yet.
If you want to go in a direction like there's like I did last week, and you
Yeah.
granted me that, if you feel like you want to take something that we don't have a line yet, we did that perfectly last week. It was seamless. It was fine. The play sucked on my end, but we can update it in the pinned comment.
Oh my God, Seahawks are 9-0 in the last 9 games on the road. Like, there's literally no numbers that support Washington here.
Yeah, they haven't
whatsoever.
lost this year well, obviously 9-0. They haven't lost this year on the road.
Yeah. I am going with the over here at 46.5. Reason being, there is some sharp action early. If you look at Action Network, I just saw this actually looking at this a minute ago. 62% of all bets are on the under, but yet there's a 22% differential, 60% on the over, which doesn't mean too much right now. But you are seeing some of the sharp bettors and some of the professionals are tailing the over. The Commanders has hit in 6 of the Commanders' last 8 games at home. It's a 75% hit rate at home over the last 8 games. That, of course, dates back to last season. So far this year, look at 2025, the over has hit at a 50-50 rate for the Commanders and a 43% rate for the Seahawks. So, it's not like a great high number, but we have seen some overs for both of these teams.
Yep.
Excuse me. That Bourbon Street cough is getting me here. But there's just a lot of numbers to support an over here. And again, it's one of those games where it's like the under. It makes so much sense why the under would be the play. But Seattle, I didn't mention this earlier when I talked about the numbers. The one way to attack them is their passing defense. They're 23rd in passing yards allowed. We have seen them a little bit susceptible there. Even if we do think, and again, I think Seattle should win this game and they score points, I think what a lot of people are thinking is that Seattle's going to win this game in a blowout, like 27-10 type of deal, 27-7. I do think Washington, win or lose this game, should be able to contribute some points to this total through the air, whether it be Daniels or Mariota. They should be able to get a few touchdowns by moving the ball through the air. Seattle's been great defensively, but they can give up some points and they can give up yards through the air. I don't think you're going to need Washington to give up too many. If you do believe Seattle's going to win this game, I think that like something along the lines of like 31-17 is not a crazy score, and obviously that's the over right there. So I think Seattle will score a healthy amount of points here. This is not a very good Commanders defense, but I do think on the flip side, the Commanders should be able to score a little bit here.
Yeah, I hate to agree with you because I do think that say like let's take our other conversation, right? The one that we were having a few minutes ago about it being a trap game and all that. Seattle's a really, really good defense, right? So if this line is close, it's 2.5 right now. That's not telling you, I wouldn't think, that the Washington defense is going to rain terror on Seattle. I think what that's telling you is that this Washington offense, Terry McLaurin back, Deebo Samuel back, Zach Ertz, by the way, just a little bonus play. I do think that he is a good look here too. I don't know his lines. I don't even know if they're out yet. But Seattle has struggled against tight ends this year. But either way, it's like what that line is telling you is that Washington may have some offensive success. Like I don't think it's going to be everything would point to, like you said, Tasos, like a gut reaction would be, oh, this is a messy, sloppy game. I think that both these teams can move the ball to some degree as long as whether it's Mariota or Daniels has like a decent enough game. You know what I mean? What we saw out of Mariota against the Chiefs Monday Night Football wouldn't do the job. Like, yeah, he had some nice runs and some plays, but when they counted, there was some drops, some weird picks and all that. That type of thing can't happen again because it's a really good defense. So I don't necessarily mind it. I think that it's almost like the books are telling you that there could be some points in this game just because of that line.
Exactly. Like I said, that 2.5 point spread, what that indicates, the books are telling you this game's going to be closer than you think. And they set the line, they set the total at 46.5. These Sunday Night Football games, the totals haven't been that high. It's been a lot of 43.5, 44.5. I think this past weekend was 40. We had the over. We bet it. We hit it on Sunday. I think it was 45.5. They've been pretty low totals, and this is 46.5. It's about right on average to where those have been, and actually a little bit higher than some where the over has hit. They're telling you it's going to be a tight game, and there are going to be some points. So, again, I think Washington, I'm not saying they're going to score. This is not going to be like a 37-30 shootout or like last week in the Packers Steelers game where you had like over 50 points, I think it was like over 60 points. But I think you're going to get a decent amount. I think this over is going to be a little tight. You might sweat a little bit watching this one, but I do think the over will hit.
All right. Well, like I said, I kind of sign off on that one. I don't mind your board this week. I'll be honest. I do think that there's some reasons why I don't like it, but it's in theory, I don't necessarily mind it. You ready for the fade me round? This is when it kind of everything changes. You might be feeling good. I might be feeling good. Whoever this next wheel lands on, it says a lot about what we have in store here. So guys, if this is your first time watching, you don't know what the fade me round is. It's different than all of the other rounds. By the way, our brand here for merch is called Fade Me, fademe.store. Go ahead and check it out. But anyways, whoever this lands on gets to make a pick across the board, right? It doesn't have to be in any sort of category or anything like that. The other person has to immediately take the opposite side of it and whatever odds are, accordingly following. So Tasos, I'm assuming you want Fade Me. I have one that I think is good for content and good for a play. But how badly do you want Fade Me?
Not that badly, actually. I kind of want you to have it.
You've done because I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Yep. No, I mean I don't know if you've seen the record books this year, but you've had a little bit of a rough time with Fade Me. I think you're like 1-2 or 1-3 with Fade Me this year. So
it's been bad. It's been bad. I've lost my own. I've handed you a couple. So yeah, it's been bad.
So I kind of want to see what you're going to do with it. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Don't get me wrong, but okay. I am interested to see where you go with it if you were to get it.
Let's hope I get it then. I'm going to spin this bad boy. I like mine.
Let's see. You're going to get it too.
Is it going to sit? It is.
Can I real quick make a guess on the game you're going to pick?
Yes. I don't know if let's see if you, I don't know if you
what game your pick will be a part of.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. But
because you said entertainment, is this going to be in the Chiefs-Bills game?
No.
Okay.
It's not like that entertaining. It's more so aligned to like something that we've done and have done here.
Great. So we're going to
it's minus no. It's minus 115 on each side, over and under, right? I'm looking at an under for this player. It's been a quarterback that I think the whispers are starting to say that I'm the blank whisperer.
Oh no.
Cam Ward under 215.5 passing yards. I have it at minus 115. You get the over 215.5 at minus 115. A true fade me of all fade me's here for a guy that I feel like I am the Cam Ward whisperer, and I just handed you an absolute L. He's going up against the Chargers, a good pass defense for sure, a good defense overall. I think that this is a nice spot to fade a guy that just went off last week, and his team does stink out loud. How do you feel about having Cam Ward's over? It's a low line, but it's also way high. I got it at 198 last week. 215.5 is a big difference.
You gave me the guy that I talked so much crap on last week. Now I have to back his over.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Because it is a low line. Like that, if roles are reversed here,
for a good reason. It's a low line for a good reason.
I know. All I was gonna say is that's my initial. If you were like, how do you feel about that? My only call it a saving grace. I don't even. That's pretty drastic to say that. Would be that. Well, if you have a starting job, you can pass for 216. You can. I'm not saying you will. He's done in 4 straight games. Tasos. Either he's hitting the right trajectory, or I am picking the perfect sell high spot on Cam Ward.
It's the sell high of all sell high spots. You're going from the Colts, who we talked about a lot on this show, actually, which is surprising because they are a good team, but they don't have a good pass defense. Like, it's the one weakness of that team, which is very good. But like second half, when they're up big, that pass defense isn't good when they're winning or losing, especially when they're winning larger. That defense isn't playing hard. So that made sense. He threw for almost 100 yards in the fourth quarter. Now you have a top 10 defense against the pass of the Chargers very strong secondary, better coach team. The only hope I have here is that the Chargers, and the spread is 9.5 points, so the book's telling you big game. The only hope I have is that it's a massive blowout. Fourth quarter, he just starts chucking it. But I don't think in this game that's going to matter much because even when the Chargers take their foot off the gas, they still have a better defensive pass secondary than the Colts do. So, yeah, I don't like this. And the line is elevated now because he's hit this in a few games and because he had that big game on Sunday. Now the number goes up. 215.5. I don't think he's hitting it personally.
All right, good. I love that that's played. Now, let me ask you this question, right? I'm going to list 5 quarterbacks, the last 5 quarterbacks that the Chargers have seen. Carson Wentz, I'm gonna give you 2 buckets, all right? There's bucket 1, Carson Wentz, Tua, and Jackson Dart. Okay, that's bucket 1. Bucket 2 is Daniel Jones and Jaden Daniels. Which bucket truly does, at this point in time, Cam Ward kind of fit a little bit more into?
The first one, obviously, with Carson Wentz.
Which all 3 of those guys stayed under their line against this. I know you probably saw it too. All 3 of those guys stayed under. Daniel Jones and Jaden Daniels did hit their overs. But I don't know if Cam Ward is them just yet. He certainly isn't him yet as the number 1 pick, but I don't know if he's them either.
I wish I got it. I take back what I said.
What were you gonna? Did you have anything that was good? We always share kind of like the other side of things too. In terms of your fade me.
So I wanted to try something that was different. I don't know if you would have agreed to do it or if it would have worked that way. I basically was going to do a 2-leg parlay with basically I had a total tease in mind that I really wanted. I was going to take the over version of it. You would take the under version of it. So
I don't know.
I just don't know how that would have worked.
I feel like if I'm down to do parlays for fade me, but I think it has to be a true like fade thing. Whereas if you don't hit both of them, then it's like a +100. It's like just a unit for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought.
I don't think I had agreed to the opposite.
Honestly, it was between that or it was between taking. I was going to take the Colts. Alternate spread -2.5 against the Steelers was my other one.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't have been a bad one. I would have hated that one worse.
You would have hated that one worse, or you would have? Oh, okay.
I would have. Yeah, I would. Like, I wouldn't have. I think that unless we agreed on the teaser version that I'm talking about, in the sense of like, one leg doesn't hit, then I cash. If I had to take both sides of the teaser, I'd much rather that than be on the Steelers.
Yeah, I think I basically had. I was going to do the teaser. I was going to do the over in this Colts Steelers game, and the over in Ravens Dolphins were my 2 that I had. And then my alternate, if you had said no, was Colts -2.5 because Steelers are falling apart before our very eyes. Although Tomlin again off a loss, home dogs +3.5. The numbers that we spread last week for the Packers game are also relevant. So I guess maybe I'm looking at it. I guess I technically have a better chance statistically with this Cam Ward play, but it's close.
Fair enough. How do you feel about your board?
Oh, it was going really well until that last one. I don't even hate Cam Ward. I think he's going to be really good eventually, but I think, right now, having any kind of money or any kind of stakes in this Titans team is a disaster.
Fair enough. I like that I made you feel like that. But yeah, guys, that's week 9 here for H2H. Tasos, any final words for the community, for the viewers out there?
Cam Ward, help me, you're my only hope, please. Just catch the over, throw it 50 times, and even if it's just dump downs, 5-yard dump downs, just keep doing that. Let's do it to a quick mental math here. Like 30 times, and you'll be good to go.
Okay, Cam, let's go ahead and do that. But all right, guys, it's gonna wrap it up. We'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace out.